at the same time if this war becomes prolonged. The political costs in the US would rise sharply. We're also looking at higher energy prices, mounting security risk, and also the American public's deep fatigue with these open-ended wars. Ambassador Suri, could this domestic pressure perhaps eventually become a constraint on how far Washington is willing to go?
In a normal administration, in a normal era, it would be a major constraint. Americans are notoriously sensitive when it comes to gas prices, when it comes to how much it costs to fill up a gallon of petrol at a gas station. But these are not normal and regular times. So even though I hear the voices out of influential MAGA circles and others expressing disquiet over the way things are going, that this is not the America first that we had voted for, etc. I think there is the alternate reality, which is that President Trump has shown that with the cult that he has built, with the 35% of the base that he has, he can pretty much get away with anything. I think he said that some time back, that he could go on Fifth Avenue, pull out a gun and shoot somebody and nothing would happen. So, when you have a cult following, then the normal rules of politics need to be suspended for a while. I think those rules will start kicking in as midterm elections approach and as the popularity of President Trump wanes even further. Even right now, normally countries tend to rally behind the leaders during a war situation. But this particular war, because it was such an unwanted, unprovoked war, even at the start of the war, a majority of Americans are against it. And I'm sure that support will ebb off even more as the pain grows. But I think we will all, not just the Americans, but we in India and so many others will have to suffer the consequences until that threshold is reached.
Absolutely, and what we're seeing is that, of course, this is not a contained conflict. We're seeing ramifications all over, the world in some way or the other. And coming to India, Ambassador Suri, this is not a distant geopolitical story for us. Our energy supplies, our trade routes, and millions of Indian citizens who are closely tied to this very stability of the Gulf. Now, having served in the region yourself, how serious could, the consequences be for India if this conflict drags on for longer or even widens further?
I think this is getting very close to the worst case scenarios that we've looked at least from the economic standpoint. I think there are two really bad scenarios that as diplomats, as members of the government would always worry us. One was the safety and security of the 9 million strong Indian diaspora. And at this point, I have to compliment the governments in the region, whether it's in Abu Dhabi or Dubai or Doha or other places, who really are stepping up to make sure that the expat communities, including Indians who are the largest expat community in the Gulf, remains reasonably assured and protected given the circumstances that they're in. But the second dimension is already hurting us, which is on the economic side. My particular worry is about LNG, because Qatar has been one of the largest and most reliable producers of LNG. Most of our LNG has been coming from Qatar, and now that the energy minister of Qatar has himself declared that it will take several weeks for Qatar to restore energy supplies, to restore LNG shipments, even if the Strait of Hormuz were to reopen tomorrow. It means that there's going to be a lot of pressure reflected not just in higher prices, which we are already seeing, but an impact which is fairly near term on our fertilizer industry, the urea fertilizers that our farmers will be needing for the next sowing season. Use LNG as a feedstock. Many of our cities today have piped gas, and that piped gas is from LNG, and they will start feeling the stress. Some of our industries, whether it is ceramics in Morbi or brass in Moradabad, again use LNG and will find themselves coming under stress because the shortages are looming pretty quickly. I mean, I was reading a report from Korea where they are almost looking at an emergency situation. So because Europe is going to be short of LNG, Korea is going to be short of LNG, Japan is probably going to be short, you're going to see this bidding for a very limited and finite resource until supplies improve. And I think all of us will end up paying the price. Our poorer households, which use gas cylinders for LPG, will end up paying a price. All your taxis in Delhi or in other cities which use CNG will face the pinch. So it's a grim situation.
Absolutely, Ambassador Suri, and we know that the situation still remains delicate. And of course, this is an evolving equation with a lot of variables which are yet to, fall into place. But for now, we'll have to wait and see how the situation develops from here on. For now, thank you so much, Ambassador Suri, for joining us in the broadcast and sharing your valuable insights with us.
Thank you.